Hello, everyone. I'm here to talk to you a little bit after having corrected all of the drafts of the persuasive recommendation letter about exactly how important it is to be able to, one, specifically define the existence of a problem, two, specifically define a solution that will suit that problem, including all of the individual steps to the solution and the other aspects that make it doable, all the things we need to know before we do it. Three, to be able to talk about the fairness of the solution, given that most solutions to problems will affect different groups of people in different ways. And finally, four, the importance of being able to talk about the feasibility of the solution or its doability, effectively how many and what sorts of resources it's going to require. Pardon me. I'd ask you to think a little bit about the newest building on North Campus. And for those of you who haven't been there yet, I sincerely hope for your good and for mine that we end up back there soon. The new building on North Campus, or the STEM building, gives us a very good example of the necessity of all of the steps of a recommendation, given just how long it took to actually build the thing. I was hired in 2007, and at that point, more than 7 years before the new building had ground broken for it, people were talking about needing a new facility of some kind, but at that moment, the need for it, in other words, the problem to be solved, had not been adequately defined yet. And that's one of the reasons that it took quite some time for the new building to even begin to be designed. Little by little, as the years went on and STEM, or science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, became one of the most important new ideas in higher education, we realized that what we needed the most was a new STEM facility because our other facilities were quite old. And therein you have the problem to be solved. It was only at that moment when we could adequately define the problem that we could begin to move forward. Now, adequately defining the problem then gave us the shape of the solution. Up until that point, whenever any discussion of the new building was done, no one was quite sure what it would be or what would be inside of it. At one point, there was even some talk of having it be a dorm of some kind. Given our ability, though, to define the problem, that gave form to our solution because now we know the building would be one with new lab space and other spaces for things like collaborative learning, mathematics, science, and technology education. The end, however, was still quite a ways off because of the other considerations of fairness and feasibility. When we were finally in the planning stages, a lawsuit was brought by none other than former County Executive Joel Giambra in favor in favor of the students at City Campus because he argued that it should be there. Further, the lawsuit argued that because City Campus students were in one of the oldest facilities, that is the old post office building, they were actually the ones who needed the updated facility more. Giambra also argued that the new facility would help to bring new energy and new people to downtown Buffalo and perhaps even help to revitalize the economic situation there. That lawsuit didn't go very far, though, because of the fact that it wasn't feasible to put the building there. There literally wasn't the space for it. After that, there really wasn't much reason to look at South Campus because of the fact that it is, of the three campuses overall, the newest. That left North Campus, which actually made quite a lot of sense feasibility-wise, given the fact that it's the one with the most open space that the county owns and is currently not doing anything with. The other way in which North Campus began to make sense was in terms of fairness. One of the most important and still most successful programs at SUNY Erie is the nursing program, and its largest population is at North. So if we were to have a new STEM building, it would logically and obviously be in service to the nursing program, which meant there was that much more reason to have it go to North. And as I said before, feasibility concerns were also at that moment pointing out that North Campus was the logical choice. Now, it still took quite some time after that to get the building built because of another aspect of feasibility, that being money. And really, it doesn't matter what recommendation you make, money's always a part of it somehow. We still had to focus on being able to match funds with the county in order to build a new building. There was simply no way that the college itself would ever have all the money. However, over time, we were able to negotiate a plan with the county, which allowed us to raise half, and the county would raise half, and that's how we'd pay for the thing. Finally, then, the new building was built, although there were still some other arguments over exactly where to put it, and one by someone who speculated that a former important figure at the college had stipulated that they could never build anything that would block the view of Young's Road from the library. That was never really substantiated, though, and that's the reason that we put the new building there. So there you have it. The new building, an important building at SUNY Erie, and a building that hopefully will point the way for the other ones as they're either renovated or rebuilt, was put there only after we are able to, one, clearly define the problem, two, define a solution that would address all of the parts of the problem, three, make sure that fairness was the best served of all possible ways of enacting the solution. And finally, four, we had to make sure that all of the feasibility concerns were met.